Mr. Transforce 96 here with another video review. This time we have from the Marvel Captain America Civil War Black Panther Hot Toys figure. So before we go over the actual figure, let's start out with his accessories. You get an assortment of hands, of course, with 2 extra wrist pegs. As far as the hands go, you get a pair of fists, a pair of open hands, and a pair of those open hands basically in the same position, but now with the claws extended. He comes with a nice set of hands. I certainly don't want relaxed palms for him or anything like that, but what I would have really liked is some really aggressive hands. I mean, these are nice, they're aggressive, but they are certainly not to the level that I would have liked. You've got like 2 that are just kind of curled in and 2 that are just like lightly out. I would like some really aggressive, just insane hands with the fingers spread apart like a lot. I think that would have been really nice and could have made for some very cool poses. But unfortunately they went with, just kind of like okay ones. They're obviously aggressive, but certainly not to the level that I would have preferred. But the hands that you do get are nice and they are functional. You get a standard base, of course, with the red coloring scheme, considering this is a member of Team Iron Man here. You get the nameplate, which looks very nice. You've got, Captain America Civil War there, Black Panther, a little logo. The top, looking quite good. Yeah, I do like these new bases. I think that they're quite nice. They're a good size, and like the artwork on top. The only thing that I don't like is that the red doesn't really go with Black Panther. Obviously, if you have the Team Iron Man all displayed together, the bases would look really nice, but just on its own, it doesn't look great just with Black Panther. Considering I don't have any of the other bases from Civil War, so it does look a little odd, which is why I don't even use it to display him. But I still think that it is a nice base, and I'm glad that it has a theme with the other figures. Alright, moving on to the actual figure here. As you can see, the mask looks really nice. Really do like it quite a bit. The silver does pop a nice amount. The biggest complaint I had when he first went on pre-order, other than accessories, is that the silver was very muted. It didn't seem very bright. And in the movie and in all the concept art and everything, the silver on him really pops. So I am glad that then when they finally release this figure, the final product has some really nice silver. And it is not that kind of dull gray that the prototype was sporting. So I do like this a lot. That was actually my deciding factor in getting this figure. With just him on pre-order, I wasn't going to pre-order him. I wasn't going to get him. I was going to wait for the Black Panther movie in the hopes that they would have fixed the silver. But luckily, the final product, when it was released overseas, all the official images came out and he had the bright silver, and that's when I pre-ordered him. So the color of the silver was actually a really important matter to me. It's what made my decision. But anyway, it looks very nice. I do like the head sculpt a lot. I think it looks very good. My biggest complaint about the figure, though, is the lack of a head sculpt for the actor, for T'Challa. Sorry. I think that is 100% necessary. We saw him in the Black Panther costume with his helmet off 3 times in the movie. So it's not even like it's something that I would have just wanted, even though it didn't happen in the movie. It's something that has a complete basis for the movie in multiple scenes, and it's just a clear thing that he should have come with, which they didn't give him, in my belief, simply so that they can have they can get people to buy the figure twice with the next release. That's my guess. But super disappointing that he doesn't come with that head sculpt, because that is really necessary. The patterning on the bottom is very nice. I mean, the costume is very intricate as far as the detail goes. It's all, relatively a standard color, though, of course, but I do like the fact that they use the shades of black slightly differently. There's more glossy areas, and then there's more muted areas of black, which helps make the figure look quite unique overall, and I do like that. He looks really good with fists. I didn't think that I'd ever display him with fists because of with aggressive like claws that he comes with, but he actually does look good with fists. I think that it looks very nice, and I like the way that they have this piece of the costume, the sleeve is rolled down past the joints there, so I think that is quite good. It's over here, it looks a lot better. On this side, I think it's a little longer, and it kind of gets bunched up in some areas and things like that, so I'm not a big fan of that, but that is something small. And of course, as you can see, you have more silver detail on the gloves, which look good. And as you go down, the feet look quite nice. I do like the little nails that they have sculpted there, and they are actually sharp, which is kind of neat. So I do like that a lot. The feet are hard pieces of plastic that just peg into the foot. They are not part of the costume, of course. His thighs look a little big. You know, it's not like a big deal, but it is something that I do notice. It's something, you know, slight, but it is a little strange that the thighs just seem so massive when looking at the figure all together. It's not a big issue at all, but it is something that I did notice. I would have liked that to be a little bit more proportionate to the actual figure. Going over his articulation, obviously he has a skin-tight costume, so his articulation is, you know, can be quite unique. So let's go over that. So his articulation is pretty good. I did watch a few reviews of him before I got him where people really said that the articulation was really not hindered even by the skin-tight suit and that they were really praising it. Me personally, it doesn't feel as good as I was expecting. I guess I just got overhyped for me or something, but yeah, it was a bit of a disappointment getting out. It's still, you're able to accomplish some nice poses, and of course this is a great little stance here. However, I feel like this is stressing the suit. There's lots of areas here where I think that the suit is kind of stretched to the max a bit, which isn't good. So, but let's go over it, and he's very stable. I mean, he doesn't need the base to achieve this stance. As you can see, completely without the base, he is fine. He's very stable, and he has good ankle articulation, which allows him to be able to pose like that without falling. His head is really good. I think that is an excellent place, and the ball joint is a bit loose though, as far as it doesn't feel loose, but it feels like his head can pop out easily. But he can look up very far, he can look down extremely far, and then of course side to side, and you know, it's at two places there, and two ball joints basically. So excellent articulation in the head, not hindered by the costume, and it's fantastic. The shoulder area is kind of like stiff. It's very strange. It almost feels like this is a strange body, because the shoulder joints seem very sturdy and hard to move actually. So that is quite interesting. But he does have decent articulation. You can't really go forward much because of his costume, but it's not a massive hindrance. The bicep swivel, he does swivel, but it does feel hindered. Like it feels like you're stretching the suit when you move him at the bicep, which I don't like. You have double bend elbows, which can bend very far, but they do leave big creases. And then you have full range at the wrist, basically. You will be kind of crushing some of the fabric, though, when you move his wrists. He has a ball jointed upper torso, which can go side to side nicely. You leave big creases here, though, and it can go back. You know, it goes back really far in the waist area. You've got some excellent articulation in the waist, not necessarily the torso, the upper part. And then when he bends forward, he mainly bends forward from the torso up here. Again, though, leaving these massive creases, which I would imagine will cause stress and damage to the suit if posed like that after a while, which is definitely a shame, because you know, that's really where you could get some dynamic poses in that torso, but if it leaves marks, it's not worth it to me. Then he has ball jointed hips, which work well. Of course, even just moving his leg up slightly, you get these insane creases, which look ridiculous, and spreading out his legs is about as far as you can go comfortably. Then you have double hinge knees, which work well, but it feels like the suit feels very thick, and therefore it feels like it's hard to move things without, you know, damaging them. And then the ankles are quite nice. He can bend up very far. He can go down quite a bit far, and then of course a good pivot there. That's very nice for a Hot Toys figure. I could see the ankles, though, getting loose or a bit loose over time. So his articulation is nice. However, it's risky. That's how I'd put it. That's the best way. Like, I feel like you can achieve poses, but not comfortably. If you want to achieve comfortable poses that you'd be okay leaving him in for long periods of time, I feel like you're not going to get much other than kind of nice stances like this. Like, this is a very nice, intimidating stance, but obviously it doesn't do much as far as the pose is concerned. But I love the head articulation. That's definitely can't be beat. But the rest of them, you know, it's a little hit or miss as far as it's worth it to pose them that way or not. But let's get a comparison here. Alright, here's a little size comparison with some of the Team Iron Man members. We have Iron Man, Black Panther, and Black Widow. They're all standing on the same type of base, so they're all level to each other. And as you can see, Black Panther is in between the two. He's rather close to an Iron Man height. He's much taller than Black Widow, but he isn't quite at Iron Man's height. When I got him out of package, he felt like a really tall figure, so I was surprised to see that he's not as tall as Iron Man. But even with the ears there, he's not quite as tall. He's slightly shorter, but he is still a fairly tall figure. So overall, this is a good figure. I have to say that personally, and when I got him, I took him out of package, posed him up, took a few pictures, put him on my shelf, and that was about it. I really haven't taken him off my shelf again until today, actually, to do this review. However, I do really enjoy him on my shelf. He's a major player in the MCU, so he looks wonderful next to all of my other Marvel heroes. So I'm happy to have him as far as the group is concerned. But the figure himself, I don't have a whole lot of fun with personally, because I feel like it's worrisome to pose him because his suit. I feel like when I do pose it that I'm risking the suit in a bit, whether it be ripping or just kind of having the creases stay forever, that type of thing. And like I said, he doesn't come with many accessories. The accessories that you get, he comes with a few pairs of hands, and again, I would have liked even more aggressive hands than he comes with. And then I think that he's super super disappointing for not having the Chadwick Boseman head sculpt. I think that that's a completely necessary head sculpt, and an extra head sculpt allows you to change up your figure so that it doesn't become boring. That's the best part of a head sculpt, or a secondary head sculpt. So the fact that he doesn't come with that makes this feel like a relatively basic figure, You can put him in some cool poses, but it's hard to do that without being extremely worried, which makes it not fun. So personally, I'm not enjoying this figure a whole lot, but I am very happy to have it in my collection for the group's sake. So I would recommend getting this if you're either a massive Black Panther fan or you have a nice Marvel collection, you want another main member to it, I would definitely recommend him for that. Otherwise, I'd probably wait. I think that the next Black Panther will definitely come with the Chadwick Boseman head sculpt, and he might come with a few extra accessories because obviously it'll be from his solo movie, so I would imagine that he does a few more things than that, so there's probably more things that they can give him, so I would have liked to see that. So there you go, that's my video review of the Captain America, the Civil War Hot Toys Black Panther figure. Let me know what you guys think of the figure, and thanks so much for watching.